It is Wednesday, December 2. Welcome to CGN News. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis has decided to cancel the $11 million debt owed to the Federation by Liat, the Caribbean airline. Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris said that the debt relief was made following a request by the liquidator. He said that the decision considered the ill health of the regional carrier, reaffirmed St. Kitts and Nevis' commitment to regional integration. Liat is currently being restructured following a decision by the government of Antigua and Barbuda to reorganize the airline. It returned to the sky on a reduced commercial schedule on November 30. Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Alain Chastanet, has said he will be among the first persons to take a COVID-19 vaccine as he moves to quell fears among the population regarding the safety of the vaccine. Chastanet told reporters that while persons who do not have to travel may have the option of not taking the vaccine, some companies will require individuals to be inoculated. United States and European regulators are moving to approve the vaccines being developed for the virus. Pharmaceutical company Moderna, which says its vaccine is 94% effective in treating the virus, has applied to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for approval. A huge radio telescope in Puerto Rico has collapsed after decades of astronomical discoveries. The U.S. National Science Foundation said the telescope's 900-ton instrument platform fell into a reflector dish some 450 feet below. It was announced in November that the telescope would be dismantled amid safety fears following damage to its support system. The Arecibo Observatory telescope, one of the largest in the world, was a key scientific resource for 57 years. It was also made famous as the backdrop for a scene in the James Bond film GoldenEye and other Hollywood movies. There have been no reports of injuries following the collapse. Grenada's Ambassador Keisha A. Maguire and her Georgian counterpart, Kaha Inadze, recently signed agreements allowing nationals of both countries to travel freely without a visa for stays not exceeding 90 days. The signing of the visa waiver complements the actions of Grenada's foreign policy aimed at strengthening cooperation with other states. The ambassadors say that the two states look forward to deepening existing ties. This includes further cooperation in the areas of information and communications technology, maritime and tourism. The Guyana Police Force, GPF, has been granted orders authorizing the deportation of 26 Haitian nationals who have been detained for weeks at the state-run Hugo Chavez Center for Rehabilitation and Reintegration. The individuals are to be deported for allegedly lying about where they would be staying during their visit to Guyana. According to attorney Darren Wade, who has been representing the interest of the detained immigrants, the action is arbitrary and was conducted with a clear disregard to his client's rights to natural justice. The European Caribbean Forum Climate Change and Health Project in the Caribbean had its virtual launch on Tuesday. A 5-year project is aimed at reducing mortality from health consequences of climate change. CARICOM Secretary General Erwin Lacroix, speaking at the launch, said the greatest threat to the Caribbean is climate change. Under the project, the Trinidad-based Caribbean Public Health Agency will design and pilot an integrated surveillance system for expansion and sustainability of the system. The Barbados-based Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology will develop an early warning system for Sahara dust, building on its existing work in spearheading early warning systems for drought in key economic sectors. Overseas now, the U.S. government says healthcare workers and others recommended for the first COVID-19 inoculations could start getting shots within 24 hours after the vaccine receives regulatory authorization. The chief advisor for the U.S. government's Operation Warp Speed program made the announcement on Tuesday. Monsef Slawi, a former GlaxoSmithKline executive overseeing the vaccine portion of the U.S. program, said he hopes 20 million people will have been vaccinated by the end of this year. Slawi said practice shipping runs have been conducted to prepare for initial distribution, expected to begin in mid-December once Pfizer Incorporated receives an emergency use authorization. Dozens of gunmen armed with assault rifles invaded a city in southern Brazil overnight Tuesday and looted a local bank. Video broadcast on the Globo television network showed hooded men dressed in black walking the streets of Santa Catarina and local residents being held hostage during the takeover. It began around midnight and lasted almost 2 hours. At least 30 assailants and 10 cars were involved in the well-planned operation. Anselmo Cruz, head of the state police's robbery and kidnapping department, told a news conference. Cruz told Globo News that the robbers fired bullets with calibers capable of downing a helicopter. And finally, China successfully landed a spacecraft on the moon's surface late on Tuesday in its first mission to retrieve lunar surface samples in 40 years, said the country's National Space Administration. The space agency said the probe had successfully landed on the near side of the moon and sent back images. China launched its unmanned Chang'e 5 probe on November 24. The mission, named after the mythical Chinese goddess of the moon, aims to collect material to help scientists learn more about the moon's origins and the solar system. This will make China the third nation to retrieve lunar samples after the United States and Russia. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.